goes it, my friend?
Well, just finished watching Dunkirk.
Wow, we haven't even gotten to the introduction yet. Welcome back to another episode of Real Legends Podcast. I'm your host, Bo.
I'm Dan.
And tonight's episode is Dunkirk, a Christopher Nolan film. I feel like I already know some of your thoughts by the way you're acting.
Yeah.
But before we get into our initial thoughts, any thoughts about the movie news going on and happening these days? Last week we talked a little bit about the Odyssey trailer, my reaction to it. A lot of news has come out since then, at least as far as, I don't know if you've seen any of it, people being very, how would you say, disappointed at the choices made by Christopher Nolan that we know of. For one, the Odyssey that he based it off is not like the ancient Greek story, but he's basing it off of like a modern feminist interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just videos and reactions all over the internet about casting, what the movie's based on, and then just how they're speaking modern English in an ancient Greek historic film. Or how would you say it?
Historic story.
It's mythological.
Yeah. Well, it's based off of the book The Iliad, written by Homer, and that was a myth.
Right.
So,
yeah, historical myth. Any thoughts on that before we jump into the movie?
Well, I've heard that some of the things that have been claimed are actually not true, like with the casting, but I have heard that like the stuff that he's based it on is not great. I think Christopher Nolan is a great director, but I think that also Dunkirk is another example of this. That not everything that he makes is great. And I am still waiting for the movie to come out because it's really hard to judge something based off of rumor and hearsay. I'll have to watch the thing in order to give my opinion on it.
I'm going to jump in and just say I feel exactly the opposite of you. I thought Dunkirk was awesome.
You liked it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it this time.
Yeah.
So let's just get into our initial thoughts, unless you have any other movie news you want to bring up.
Nope.
Okay, well, non-spoiler thoughts. Let's hear them.
I think it's really drawn out, and I cannot stand the music. I cannot stand the music.
Do you know who did the music?
Music is horrible.
I also disagree with that, but okay. Hans Zimmer?
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah, he's bad at making music, you're right.
In most cases, Hans gets it right, and I think in most cases, Nolan gets it right, but I think that neither one did great in this one.
All right, we're going to butt heads a lot on this then, because I'll jump into initial thoughts. Beautiful looking film. I felt a lot of things during this movie that I don't remember feeling the first time. A lot of anxiety, some emotional highs and lows as well, and which I wasn't expecting. And I think hindsight, having seen it once and not just wondering like what the heck is going on and what's this movie about, where I could just kind of knew, okay, this story is about three kind of three perceptions of one event, or kind of three different characters we're following over from three different angles of this timeline at various stages of that timeline. And so I could just kind of sit back and be like, okay, I'll just follow what's going on, just take it in, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, looks beautiful. Thought it was well acted. I liked music and sound design worked well for me. I think, yeah, for initial thoughts, I think that's all I'll say, because we'll get into the spoilers.
I agree with you that the filming is great and the shots are very good. I'm with you there. Like, it's very good to look at.
Yeah, very beautiful film. I can tell there's a lot of practical effects, whether it's in the water, under the water, or in the air. Yeah, it seemed like there was some. I mean, obviously, it's probably not all, right? I don't think they filmed everything in the air with the planes, but for the majority part, it was great. Um, that brought to mind another film that I was going to mention to you something about. Oh, did you know in Interstellar they didn't use any green screen?
Dang, they went to space? That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. No, they just didn't use any green screen. So a lot of practical effects, and then a lot of like there'd be like maybe screens behind them and things, and there's CGI like the black hole, like it's computer generated, but
No green screen.
no green screen. Anyhow, back to Dunkirk. Yeah. If you haven't seen Dunkirk, we're going to get into spoilers, so go check it out and maybe watch it a couple times. But if you haven't already seen us on YouTube at Real Legends Movie Podcast, go check us out there and comment, interact with us there, and we will talk about your takes on the show. I haven't seen really any new big comments I've noticed on any of our videos, so nothing really to report this week, but we gave it a shot a couple weeks ago with one of our episodes and responding or talking about some comments on some of our videos. And our plan with that is not to have a battle. Our plan with that is just, if you have a take, we want to hear it and be like, oh yeah, that's a good point. I like that, that comment or that perception of the film or that angle. Or like, yeah, no, I don't really agree, and then say why we don't. So yeah, if you ever have any takes on the movies we're reviewing, go ahead and give us a comment on any of our videos, and we'll interact with you on the show. But without further ado, we're just going to get into the spoilers. All right, I'll lead us off here. So, Dunkirk opens following a British soldier, like everyone else on Dunkirk, trying to get off the island alive. But he is very ambitious in wanting to do so. He tries everything possible, from posing as a medic to take a bleeding to death, dying guy to get off the ship, to many other things that we'll get to. And then we also follow a father and son who are leaving England on a fishing vessel to go help rescue people in Dunkirk, just because they can't get people off there fast enough with all the ships getting bombed and with the low, what would you say, not just low tide, but low water level. They can't really bring boats up onto the beach. So it's just really difficult to get people off, so they're going to help. And then we have two pilots. Tom Hardy's character, and I don't know the other guy. So many guys. This guy?
Yep.
Yeah, Collins. Yeah, so we kind of get these three angles of this evacuation in the middle of World War II. I don't know how we'll get to like whose story is it, what do they want, what do they need. I actually do want to talk about those questions. I think I have some answers for that. But yeah, the first time I saw this movie, I really didn't feel like it had a story, just because I didn't really feel like there was like a real strong protagonist. But I have some thoughts on that. And we'll get to that, I think, in a little bit. But yeah, for things that I like that are now getting into spoilers, man, Tom Hardy's character, the absolute ace in Chad.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
He's sick.
He freaking takes down like 5 planes,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them's when he's out of fuel to just freaking rally the troops.
Dude.
Really awesome. And his flying partner Collins does his due diligence as well and gets shot down. That part was an intense moment for me, where Collins was in his plane trying to get out and couldn't get out. I was just like, wow, what a crappy way to go down and possibly die. He's just trapped in a tiny little space while water's flooding in. Yeah, other things that I stuck out to me, I really actually found it interesting, maybe because now I've seen it a second time, this fleeing French guy trying to leave the island with the...
It's not an island, right?
Sorry, not an island. I don't know why I said island. Trying to leave the beachhead of France. Yeah, because I don't really remember him too well for the first time viewing it, but it was interesting that the Brits that he encounters, and once they find out he's not British, are like, hey, he's a French, he's a frog, let's leave him behind. But he actually did several things that were pretty heroic during the movie to help other people. Um, so yeah, definitely like that. Feel free to chime in if you want to talk about the movie at all.
Well, I didn't like it, so.
Okay. Well, let's get into. I'll say one more comment about the. Who was it? The Tommy? See the British soldier trying to get off? Yeah. From his angle, too, very interesting to see at the beginning when he meets this French guy. Like, I was very confused when he's helping him, like, bury the guy and then was okay with him putting on his clothes. I was like, dude, is this guy German? Is he French? Did he just kill this guy? But I guess he was pretty convinced that no, it wasn't. He didn't kill him and was helping him try to escape. And he does some. I would say he does less. Would say probably his big moment. And we'll get into this with the story questions. Is probably trying to help his kind of French comrade. But let me hear from you. Spoilers now. Like what didn't you like about the movie? Why are you sour on it?
I think, well, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't love it. I don't really want to watch it again, and it felt like a drag to me. Like, I felt like it was longer than it was. Like, the fact that it was only an hour 45 felt way longer. Like, it felt like a 2.5 hour long movie. It just dragged so long. I think two things. One, this event happened over a couple of days, and it's really hard to condense a few days into a movie. Like, just not enough things happened to make the movie like 2 hours long. So I feel like a lot of scenes were just very long, like so long.
Yeah, do you have some like, specific scenes that you felt were really long?
There's a few where like I just felt like they were just staying on one thing for so much time. Like the boat scene that it's sinking, it's there for like 15 minutes. And then they're in another boat and it's sinking and it takes like 10 minutes to sink that one. And then when he's taking the guy in the stretcher, like they're walking with the stretcher for so much time. and then the plane scene, like he is shooting at the guy forever. And then the guys from the boat, they're going and crossing this channel and it just takes so long. And I think maybe that's intentional to try to keep the movie feeling like longer because they want to make it go longer. But I just find myself like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, just comparing this with Interstellar, like Interstellar, you never feel like that. Like things move pretty well. The pacing is pretty good. And then I think the music also just makes it miserable to watch because the music is just the same 3 notes over and over and over and over again.
Wow, I don't know. Was almost as bad listening to you say that.
Yeah. I wondered if you were paying attention to the music at all, but it was
I thought it worked really well.
I thought it was horrible. Do do do, and like it just like there were loops where it literally would go for 8 or 9 minutes of the same 3 notes over and over again, and it's like this movie already feels long, and this music makes it feel so much worse.
Yeah, I think for me, like my perception is all of this is intentional in that like one. I'll say 2 points. One, tension could be defined as anticipation mingled with uncertainty. And so like the stretcher scene where like the ship's leaving, they see medics going, they pick up the stretcher like, hey, we can imitate medics and get on the ship. And then the ship's like, well, we're taking off. And they're running across the beach. And, there's all this length in time. I think that tension plus spending time with people and not just being like condensing that scene down into like 30 seconds rather than like whatever the 5 minutes that it is for them to run across the beach. I think if you shorten that down to 30 seconds, you have no tension. I think you're just like, okay, well, they got on the ship. So what I'm getting at with what my perspective interpretation is like Nolan's trying to like give us time to feel what it's like to actually be at Dunkirk or just in the shoes of the people that are doing this, where like you're right, it is, I wouldn't say dragged out, but I think we spend a lot of time with people in the situation they're in to kind of be like, wow, this kind of sucks. And this really sucks. Because like you said, from one thing to the next, it's like, okay, we're running to a boat. I'm trying to just take a dump at the beginning. I'm getting shot at. I go from there, no one's getting off the island except for people with stretchers. Then from there, it's like, well, we'll be on stretchers. And then we get kicked off the boat. And then we try to sneak on. And then it gets bombed. And then we get on another boat. And then just like, wow, nothing we're trying is working. And I guess for me as an audience member, yeah, I kind of felt like not in their shoes, but kind of could feel like what it might be to be in their shoes. Like this sucks. Like this is not a good story that you want to tell people. Like this was a miserable time of my life where I fought in the army and we barely got off the beach after trying and trying and trying and trying.
Yeah, you feel the exact same way as the audience member. Never want to live it again.
Yeah. So I guess that's my perspective on it. And obviously you're right. Like that, it's not your cup of tea. I don't think it's probably everyone's cup of tea. I definitely, the first time I saw this movie, didn't care for it very much.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I thought you'd seen it before.
Nope.
Oh.
It was, wow. And it just felt so slow. Oh my gosh. Even the scenes that were supposed to be intense, they just like dragged them out for so long that it's just like, I don't feel any tension. And the music, dude, I'm a music snob. I really am. I listen to movie soundtracks for fun. And so when I was listening to this music, I was like, I will never, ever look up Dunkirk's soundtrack because it gives me a headache.
I want you to look it up to see if you're actually right, if all the music's the same. Because we just got an hour and 45 minutes.
Not all of it. There were some motifs that I actually enjoyed. But in the scenes that they're trying to build tension, there was a few. And I think there was 3 that I can think of. There were 3 distinct moments that the music is just 3 notes over and over and over and over and over.
Okay.
And I get sick and tired of hearing the same thing over and over, dude. It drives me nuts. I couldn't even pay attention to the movie because the music was so horrible. And it might just be a me thing, but I love music. Every time we talk about a movie, I always mention the music.
Yeah, it's true.
And this music just sucked. I hated it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to make that our short for this episode. He hated the music.
I did. And I've been listening to the Batman trilogy music recently, dude.
Bangers.
And it's just so good. Like, I want to like be there.
Some people's take is The Dark Knight Rises has the best soundtrack.
I'm not going to lie.
From both of
The Dark Knight Rises has a great soundtrack. Bad movie, great soundtrack.
Whoa. We haven't got to that one yet.
True. I've never seen it.
I want to get into a few things. One of the parts that actually, and maybe you were too distracted by the music, I was actually shocked. I almost teared up. I about did. So the son and father on the boat trying to help go to Dunkirk and rescue people.
Yeah.
They see the aces in the air flying, Collins and Ferrier, Tom Hardy's character. They're fighting in the air and they see Collins start to go down. And his son's like, Dad, there was no shoot. Like, it's already building up a lot of intensity before this anyway. But he's like, Dad, there was no shoot. And he's like, okay, well, I do like also how there's not a ton of dialogue in this movie. It lets the images do the storytelling or like just body language. But anyway, the father just continues on. And then his son's like, realizes he's still going for the downed plane. He's like, Dad, there's no parachute. He's probably dead. Like, what are you doing? Stop. And his dad like reacts finally and it's like, you know, he's like, he could have been. Like, we don't know. Like, I maybe I can help him. Maybe. In that moment, I was just like, wow. I kind of like choked up and I was like, because he was choked up. It's like, I got to at least try is that whole moment. And I was just like, oh. And then you find out later, and this actually, if I would have remembered this, it probably would have hit even more emotionally. But his son died 3 weeks into the war and he was a fighter pilot. Yeah. And so it's even more emotional when you find that out because Dad's like, I have to try. I
Yeah.
have to go see if we can help him.
I did like the scenes with the son and the dad. And I thought that the whole idea of just like average British fishermen who were probably warriors in World War One were making the same journey across the English Channel to go help their sons and their grandchildren.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was dope.
That's a touching scene when you see them all going.
Yeah.
And
too bad that scene takes 12 trillion years looking at every angle of boat that you can possibly imagine because they need to make the movie an hour and 45.
I don't know if they needed to. Yeah, I would have been fine with a 90-minute film.
I would.
90-minute films are great.
I would have been great with an hour 12 minutes for this one. You could cut so much.
I think you're right. I don't know that it works the same though if you cut it down that much.
It probably doesn't. I mean, going with what you're saying, it probably doesn't go with like the suspense.
Yeah. The tension of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that scene. Maybe I'll throw a few questions at you just for as far as like what your thoughts are on. There's this scene where Tommy and the Gibson, who's not actually Gibson, the French guy, are trying to stow away on a ship with some other soldiers. That's the tide's rising, and they find out like, oh, he's French, so we should send him out first because we need to lose weight.
Yeah. And
in that moment, it kind of seems a little dark of like, yeah, well, he's French, so screw him, throw him off and let him get shot or whatever. Yeah, just want to get your take on that. Is it like...
It's very interesting.
What do you do in that situation?
It's very interesting because English and French history is super duper complicated.
Yeah.
It's very similar to British and American history. Like historically enemies and they become allies, then they're kind of enemies, then they become allies again, but secretly they still hate each other. Like... And like even Americans hate the French for whatever reason. Like you just say the word French and it's like boo. But I mean, you can clearly see. Also, Harry Styles does a great job, even though he's a. You know who Harry Styles is, right? He's a singer.
I know he does music. Yeah, I don't know really anything about him.
He's a good actor too. I thought he did a really good job playing Alex. You could see his perspective of like, you can't come back to England. Like, you're taking a spot of an Englishman. How dare you? You deserve to die for this. But at the same time, Tommy is like, even if one guy goes out there, it's not going to change anything. What are you talking about? And it's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the sad thing is the response from one of the other soldiers is, well, you're going next then. If it's not, it's like, okay, so we're even cutting each other's throats now?
Yeah. Life or death scenarios, I really do think bring out the worst in people.
Yeah.
It's
or the best.
Because it's survival. Like, if you think you're going to die and it's you or them, you'll pick you every single time. Pick yourself.
Well, I want to say that. So in that moment, Tommy actually doesn't. He says it's not right. It doesn't matter if he's French or English. It's not right.
Tommy's got a soft spot for this guy because that guy saved his life when he was... Like, he waited outside of the boat, didn't go inside.
And then opens the door for them.
And then he opens up the gate.
Yeah.
So, like,
he could have just jumped off the ship, but he stays and he opens up the door.
And now I understand why he didn't go inside, because he was French. People were going to talk to him, and he wouldn't have been able to talk back, which is very interesting to think about.
Yeah. I also think... I kind of interpreted it as also he was just like, I'm not going down there. I think you're probably more right, but I thought it was more of like, I'm not going down there because if we get bombed,
dude,
I'm not getting trapped down there.
I will say the scene that when they get hit by a torpedo was freaking sick.
Yeah, that was crazy. When you see it coming across the water, oh, shoot.
And the whole thing just shakes and then water just blasts in. I loved that scene. That scene was sick.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the pilot stuff.
That stuff was dope.
Besides that, there's not a lot of combat. Like, even on the ships themselves, when they, like... It shows them a couple of times, like, trying to, like, get ready to shoot down the planes, but we don't really see them shooting at them really much at all. So it's, like, very little action as far as combat and guns firing in this film, which maybe the first time that's what I was, like, a little confused about. I was like...
I kind of felt that same way, too, because, like, I kind of wanted it to be, like, a war film.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's more just, like, a survival film.
Yeah, it's definitely just, like, a tension survival film. But I think Tom Hardy's character was sick.
Yeah, definitely.
And so was Mr. Dawson. It was cool. I didn't hate it. I shouldn't have come out so strongly against it, but I did not love it. And I would say that even after listening to you, my opinion stands. I might watch this movie again, but I just think there's other movies I would much rather watch than this.
That's how I felt since this came out. So it's been what, 9 years?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't know. I'd rather watch something else. But I was finally open to give it a try.
Maybe 9 years from now I'll give it a watch.
Maybe you will.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll enjoy it a little more. I certainly did, and I'm surprised because I was very nervous because you know me, like I stress about picking out a movie because I'm like, I don't want to commit to this and then just be like, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
And well, thankfully, I enjoyed myself.
Funny little real world commentary. Bo is the exact same way when it comes to restaurants. He does not want to try something new if it's bad. He just wants to stick to what he knows.
Let's just go to Dave's Hot Chicken, baby.
He suggested we go try a new chicken place, and I was like, okay, I'm down. Let's give it a shot. And then the day of, he's like, nah, let's go to Dave's, where we always go.
What if it sucks?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, going to Crazy D's again did not help because I was so disappointed with that. Yeah. Even though we got one of our sandwiches for $1, I was like,
I would have rather paid extra.
Yeah, I was
have someone punch me in the nuts.
I was like, after we ate that, I wanted to go eat like Dave's Hot Chicken just to have the taste.
Yeah,
because I was like, this was not satisfying at all.
I agree.
But if you told me right now, let's go try that new chicken place, I'd go. I'd go. You know, I'll do it. If you want to go somewhere new,
I just think it's funny because you suggested it, and then
I know.
Said, nah, I don't.
And I was like, man, Dave's is really good. What if it's not as good as Dave's?
Oh man.
Yeah. So
stick with what you know.
Dan has seen that side of me. Stick with what you know. It is almost true. There's a lot of movies I rewatch because I know they're good, rather than try something new. That it's like. That doesn't have very good reviews.
There's a really good point in that because when you watch something new and you just wasted like an hour and a half and you're just like, wow. Like The Aviator.
Wow.
Like
3.5 hours or whatever that was.
Holy crap, dude. I would love to have that time back.
Rather watch The Gorge again.
I would rather watch The Gorge than The Aviator.
We haven't brought up The Gorge in forever, dang it. That used to be our line. The Gorge. Shout out to The Gorge. Don't watch it.
What a bad movie.
Let's get into these story questions and we'll kind of wrap things up. I think there's a lot more we could talk about, but since you kind of didn't like it, maybe it's a little more difficult. Do you feel like, I want to hear from you first, and then I'll make my case. Do you feel like there was a protagonist to this film? And if so, like, yeah, tell me a little bit about what you thought. If whose story it was, what they wanted, what you felt they needed, and did the movie make you care?
If it had to be anybody, it would probably be Tommy. Just because I think he gets the most screen time. But I don't think that he really moves the action forward. Like we've talked about in previous episodes.
Yeah, I will make a case for as far as what we're following. Yeah, like generally speaking, for everyone on the beach, does he move things forward? Not really. But I think for him and the people he's involved with, probably, because like it's his idea to pick up the stretcher, and then once they get on the ship, they get kicked off. I guess it's his French buddy that's like, hey, let's hide down here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess even letting the French guy come and impose as a British guy in the first place, a couple of his decisions, I think, make things happen. How do they meet Harry Styles? What happens before they meet him, or when they help him, right?
He's one of the guys that's on the boat with the injured people, and he falls in, and the French guy grabs him and pulls him out of the way that he was going to get slammed by the boat.
Oh yeah, he was going to get crushed.
Yeah, and so like he saved.
He actually saved that guy's life.
So maybe the French guy is the protagonist.
Yeah, maybe. Them kind of dually do kind of make a lot of decisions to try to get off that we're following. So maybe there's something to that with their choices driving some of the story that at least we're following when it comes to them. But obviously, yeah, they're not affecting necessarily... Well, I was going to say they're not affecting like Tom Hardy or like the dad and father, but they kind of interact with both of those people as we go. Because Tom Hardy ends up having to like try to defend them as they have snuck onto another boat. The boat that was ashore and gets dragged out to sea finally. He's trying to defend that boat. And then it starts a fire with the oil. And then they get on the boat with the father and son. So a little bit.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to make an argument for a minute, it is probably Tommy.
Yeah.
But I don't know that necessarily I would say, and I'm kind of jumping in. You can say what you want.
I don't
think there's anything that he like needs to do or become. I mean, I think like he does stand up and try to defend his French comrade.
Yeah.
Saying comrade, even though it's kind of Russian. His French ally.
His French baguette.
And like do the right thing, which is cool. But I don't know how much of an arc necessarily there is.
Yeah, I agree. It's sort of similar to the movie we watched. Fargo. Yeah, where it's kind of like, this is a story that's happening. And I don't think that anyone super like learns a lesson or has a journey.
Yeah, I think, in Fargo, it was like he needed to do something, but he doesn't. He just keeps making it worse.
Right.
And then this kind of Tommy is like, I don't know. He's trying to get off at any cost. And I don't think that really changes. So I was going to say maybe like he realizes, hey, like maybe I should help people. He does help people, but he's kind of just trying to get off at any cost. Yeah. But along the way, he does do some good things.
And I think they got a good actor for him too, because he just looks so young.
Right.
And if you're like 18 years old and you're fighting in France and you're just getting wrecked, like probably would do the same thing.
Right. Can't even take a crap without getting shot at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the French guy, not Gibson, because he's not Gibson. He's like trying to, all the way to the end, he saves Harry Styles. He tries to plug the holes. He helps Tommy earlier. Yeah. And then he's trying to plug the holes with the rest of the British soldiers all the way to the very end. And they're like, hey, we got to get out. And then he doesn't make it out of the ship. So I was like, that one was a little sad for me too. I was like, dang, like he was French and he just wanted to live and maybe he shouldn't have been there with them. But he does just as many good things or brave things to help other people than anyone else. Opens the door on the ship. That was the other one. Opens the door on the ship so people can get out.
Yep.
So it's like,
it is sad.
You kind of see he was just as good as a teammate as anyone else.
Probably even better.
Yeah, or better. And he ends up biting the dust. But yeah.
Sucks to be French.
Why do you think we have this ridiculous accents? I told them we already got one. Okay, well, Cillian Murphy, shout out to him. He, actually want to just touch a little bit on that. Shell Shock Cillian Murphy. Killian? I don't know why I call him Cillian. Cillian Murphy.
You can't forget James Blore.
Kind of sad.
Who plays irate soldier.
It's kind of sad that his character, Killian's character, he shell-shocked and like basically kills this kid on accident. And then they're like, yeah, he's fine. But then at the very end, when they're off the ship, he kind of realizes and sees they're carrying his dead body off the ship. Yeah. And he just disappears. It's like, dang, whatever happened to that guy? That's pretty sad.
Yeah. It was crazy to see the origins of Scarecrow.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, Dan can't take anything seriously right now because he doesn't like this movie. So we're just going to score this out. And yeah.
6.5 for me.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty low.
Pretty much a letdown for me. Maybe if I watch it again, I'd like it.
Yeah. Come back to it sometime. I'm going to say an 8 for me. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Beautifully shot, as I've already mentioned. And looks great. Great acting. I liked the use of, again, show don't tell as far as very little dialogue. And following those 3 different angles of this time of Dunkirk evacuation was pretty cool. I could totally see watching the first time too, like, since it's jumping around time, like when in the heck are we in this day or days? Because it jumps all over the place. But I followed it pretty clear the second time. And I would have to give it a legend. I would recommend watching it twice at least. And that's my score. If you don't like it, you can go eat it like the Germans that got shot down by Collins.
That's right.
or by Farrier.
Frick yeah, dude.
And we'll see you at the cinema concession stand.
Catch you on the flippity flop.